let's get started. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information, and then I'm going to hand the ball over to the experts so that they can show you what's new in this great release. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time and aren't familiar with MarketDirect StoreFront, formerly known as Digital StoreFront, as some of you may still know it, Digital StoreFront and MarketDirect StoreFront is our flagship web-to-print platform. It's been in the industry for a number of years and is one of the leading web-to-print platforms in the industry. It's a solution that's used by commercial printers, in-plant print centers, corporate marketing communication teams, as well as packaging, customers and packaging converters, and provides with a full host of comprehensive web-to-print services. This platform is, as I mentioned, used by commercial printers all around the world to submit thousands, tens of thousands of orders every day, and is, of course, integrated. It's used both standalone and integrated with our leading EFI productivity suite solutions, where it's connected to and integrated with MIS and ERP solutions like EFI Pace, EFI Monarch, and EFI Radius. So the agenda for today is going to be exciting for you. We've got a number of new pieces to show you, 3 brand new modules, really 4 new things that we're going to talk about today, beginning with fulfillment. So let's talk about that very quickly. Let's talk about inventory management and the new module that we've built to address that. So the MarketDirect fulfillment module is really designed to expand StoreFront and give you a modular, flexible, and cost-effective inventory management toolkit that will provide you with the ability to, full visibility of your inventory and reporting for receiving, distribution, invoicing, and shipping. It's designed to be scalable, so you can start really small and you can grow big with it. And it's designed for very quick startup. And you're going to see that when Taylor gives you an overview of this live. But getting set up is incredibly easy. There's a minimal amount of training, and you really can get up and running with this very quickly. The core functionality, as I talked about, really expands right throughout all facets and aspects of your inventory management needs, beginning with, of course, the ability to manage finished goods and print-on-demand items and control everything from thresholds and adjust your notifications accordingly. We've also got a full view of warehouse fulfillment, from receiving, managing the warehouse, managing your locations, and managing your walk sequence, as well as, of course, the ability to drive all orders through the e-commerce application that you're already familiar with, StoreFront. So all of your ordering is placed online by your customers. And then with your, when it comes time to pick and pack, there's a streamlined pick and pack sequencing, as well as paper and mobile desktop access. And then finally, on the back end, shipping integration, which Brandon's going to talk a little bit about towards the end with ShipExpress, as well as full tracking. So it really is a comprehensive full suite of inventory management tools. Now, with that said, I'm going to hand over to Taylor, who, in addition to showing us the fulfillment tools, is also going to give us a look at the same time of some of the brand new administration and UX updates that we've made. So a lot of those updates have been made to make, of course, life easier when you're administrating the StoreFront system, but it also takes steps out of the process of managing products, creating products, managing bulk items, and just working with the large amounts of data that you all end up with in your StoreFront system. So let's hand control over to Taylor, who is now going to take us through a live demonstration of the fulfillment and UX features. Thank you, Taylor.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate the introduction, and I'm looking forward to showing off MarketDirect StoreFront 11.0 today. Aaron, before I get started, you can see my screen okay?
Correct. I can see and hear you. Thank you.
Perfect. So hopefully most of our attendees recognize this site. This is a MarketDirect storefront site branded for Vera Brewing, which is our demo brewing company. And so what I thought I would do to demo MarketDirect fulfillment was to first put on our customer hat and go through the buying process. So I've landed on the Vera Brewing storefront site, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the seasonal featured category so that I can buy some caps, because as we're getting closer to summer, of course, I need some new ball caps for my collection. So I'm going to come into this product view, and I'm going to just simply select 6 caps from each of the 3 top products, and I'm going to add all of these to my cart. Shopping cart looks good, quantities are good, price looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to checkout. And you'll notice that it's going to give me some shipment options. And for this case, Federal Express Ground is good with me. And the system has gone ahead and populated my personal information into the address and shipping fields. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed to payment. Payment method can be cost center. It can be PO number, which we'll use in this demonstration. Most cases, it's also credit card transactions. So a number of options there for administrators. I'm going to make up a PO number to put in here just to get me to the next phase. And I'm going to go ahead and place my order. So you'll notice on the order confirmation, it says order 597. And it's important we remember that, because as we go to the administration side, we're going to use that to track our order through the system. It's going to make me log in again. Okay. So once I'm in the administration screen, I'm going to start by going to order view. And we'll talk a little bit about the new UI here as well, because when we talk about the administration UI with 11.0, you'll notice that the UI is updated for managing products, order view, as well as line item view, which replaces the operator view. So here on our order view, you'll notice that we have a nice list of all of our orders with data columns tied to each order. At the top, we have a little bit of a dashboard with KPIs for quotes, for user approval, approved, in production, and shipped. And that allows administrators to come in and toggle between these very quickly to see the orders that fall within each bucket. In this case, I'm simply going to look at the order confirmation screen just to get a scope of what's in this order, and then bounce back and actually go to our line item view so that I can process this order for pick and pack. So one of the things we'll talk more about in the new admin UI is the data table that we've set up, because it's very intuitive in terms of being able to sort by different columns, being able to filter by different columns, and then actually be able to search directly within a column. So in this case, if I was looking for item 597, I simply have to type that there, and then the 3 line items within my order all appear nice and clean. So I can easily select all and then release the line items for picking and packing. When I do that, this pick and pack slip is going to appear. And depending on my workflow, I can do a couple different things. I could easily print this out and then go and do my pick and pack process. Or if I'm on a mobile tablet or a mobile device, I can have a little bit different workflow. So it depends a little bit on the operations of the fulfillment operator as well as the print shop. So you can see here what that pick and pack slip looks like. It has our order items, and then if there were any back order items, it would also list that there. Okay. So let me click out of here. So now that these have been released for picking, I'm going to go over to my pick view. And you can see order 597 has been assigned to pick ID 48. And if I open up pick ID 48, you can see the products and items within this order. And again, imagine you have an employee who all they do all day is go in the warehouse and they pick and pack items from inventory, put them in boxes, and then get them to shipping. It would be very efficient and effective to streamline that process by giving them some sort of tablet or mobile device where this screen could be easily used to follow a walk sequence, which is, if you think about your warehouse, it's essentially the most efficient roadmap to get an order out the door. So whenever you come to our pick view screen here, it's going to actually sort by this walk sequence so that you know, okay, I'm going to pick up the blue hat first, then I'm going to pick up the yellow hat, then I'm going to pick up the red hat, and then I'm going to get this to shipping. And while I'm doing that, the operator simply needs to come over here and click on this blue button and confirm the item's been picked. And then you'll see that green check mark show up in the far right column. Okay. So now they've been picked, it's been packed, and now it's time to go to shipping. And I'm going to let Brandon do most of the talk about ShipExpress, but I do want to show this nice integration. So if we flip back over to our order view, and again, it's already filtered by $5.97. So we're going to click on this menu and we're going to hit Process Shipment. And what that's going to do, it's going to launch our ShipExpress integration, and it's going to pre-populate all of our shipping information. So the ship from data, the ship to data, and if I scroll down, you can see my products. And if I scroll all the way down, I'm simply going to select Pack All. If you think of the box, I'm then going to put it on a scale. Let's say it weighs 3 pounds, and we'll select it goes in a 9 by 12 standard carton. And now I'm done. I simply click Process Shipment. The cost has been updated, and then back on my screen here, the order value has been updated to take into account that shipping cost. So you can see the order status has been changed to ship, so we know this is done. If we were to toggle in between our KPIs here, it would be in this shipped bucket, and you can notice there's a padlock there that has locked the order. Okay, so that gives you a real nice kind of end-to-end view from someone placing an order all the way through the order processing, line item release, pick and pack, and then the ShipExpress integration. What I want to do now is pivot to the new UI for MarketDirect StoreFront. So like I said at the beginning of the demonstration, the UI is identical both in StoreFront and fulfillment. So even if you don't have fulfillment, you're going to see the Manage Products landing page in this screen, in this view you see here. And so I'm going to take you a quick tour of this landing page because there's a lot of nice features and functionalities that I think you're going to find really valuable. The first is the concept of views. So when you come in here, you're going to have a default view, but any user can come in and select personalized views, which changes the data and columns that you see on the screen. So for instance, yesterday, I came in and I just wanted to view these atom caps. So I click that view, and it automatically filters down my data to just these caps. And in fact, it changes the columns that I'm seeing. So if I go to my customized list, I can see that right now they're all selected. But if I wanted to update this view and say, you know what, I don't really need display as, I don't really need display priority, and I don't really need a ticket template, I can hit apply, and those columns have been removed from my view. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my administration view just to give us a wider breadth of the data and show you some other ways you can search the data within managing products. We touched on this a little bit, but one way is to search directly within a field. So I can come to a product name field, and let's say I'm looking for anything with beer in the name. And I have my list of products that have that name dwindled down to only 10. I can delete that, and that filter goes away. I can also come to a column that has a list view. So for instance, product types, and say I only want to view product types that are ad hoc. So I click that, and my UI is updated with just products that fit the ad hoc category. The next thing I want to show is how do you make edits to products. And if you're familiar with the current administration workflow, a lot of times you have to go directly into a product, make a change, click through some pages, and then hit save, and then replicate or duplicate the process for any product you want to make an identical change to. With this new UI, we've really simplified the process. In some cases, you can come directly in line here and change a product data type. So for instance, if I wanted to come down, let's say I want to change this ticket template from beer label to something else. I now have a list of all the ticket templates that I can choose from for this product. I can change it, hit save, and now that's been updated without ever leaving this landing page. Same thing for companies. I can come in here, click on this little pencil editor, and I can now select a new company for this product. Okay, so anything that has a little pencil next to it shows that it's available for inline editing. Another way I can edit a product is simply by coming over here, clicking on this hamburger menu, and now I can modify the security. I can copy the product, publish the product, or delete the product. Again, all without leaving the Manage Products landing page. The last concept I'm going to mention is the idea of bulk operations. And this is where I think administrators are going to see a lot of time savings and efficiency. So again, rather than going into each product individually and making changes, they can now select multiple products at once. And these buttons at the top here appear. And so I can select a company for all 4 of those products. I can delete all 4 of those products. I can modify the security for all 4 of those products, or I can publish or unpublish that product from a storefront or category. So let's say I wanted to modify the security for those 4 items. You'll notice in this pop-up screen, right away it's saying there's 4 items that you're adjusting so that you know the implications of this change. I can come in and I can say I want user CJO, Dan, and Gavin all to be assigned to this product, and I want to give them permissions to manage the product. And so if I hit Update Security here, CJO, Dan, Gavin would all have the ability to manage this product, and I did it for 4 products, all in a matter of seconds. So again, I think users and administrators are going to realize a lot of time savings just in this Manage Products landing page. Okay, shifting gears here for a moment, we're going to talk about creating and editing a product. And with the 11.0 release, the workflow I'm going to go through now is only specific to fulfillment inventory items. So if you wanted to create a product or you wanted to edit the content of a product, right now if I clicked on, for instance, this ad hoc item, it's going to bounce me to the classic UI, and I would do that in that space. And the reason I bring that up is to kind of reiterate what Aaron said, is that we're going to continue to make administration workflow improvements throughout the course of the next few releases. So it's our hope by the end of the year that as an administrator, you're able to create and manage all of your products, both fulfillment and print, in this one Manage Products landing page, rather than going back to the classic UI. But for the 11.0 release, we just primarily focused on fulfillment. So putting our fulfillment hat on for one moment, excuse me, I'm going to show you what it looks like to create and modify a fulfillment product. Okay, so this is an existing product. So there's already a product name, but I could easily change or edit that. I can input a SKU or a product ID. I can assign this product to a company, okay? If I come down here, I can see how many items on hand we have, how many reserved items we have, meaning orders that have been placed that have not been picked, packed, or shipped yet, and then the delta, which obviously is the same as stock on hand in this case. Under information, the product details and descriptions are very similar in terms of what you're accustomed to in MarketDirect Storefront. We've simply just streamlined the UI so that you're not clicking through multiple pages, saves you time, and allows you to change or create products more efficiently. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. For fulfillment products, this inventory tab is going to allow you to set some inventory settings for the product itself. So you can see here, this product's already been identified a default pick location, meaning that when we receive inventory, this is the default location it should be placed. Okay. I can also identify my pick strategy. So I can say I want to go first in, first out by skid ID. I can go last in, first out by skid ID. And gives you some flexibility as a warehouse service provider on your operations and how you want to have a pick strategy set up. On the right here, you can see where the product is currently living within your warehouse. So you can see here, part of the inventory is in 4.2.e on skid 15, and 12 items are also 4.2.e, but on skid 57. Okay. One thing at the bottom here I want to point out is inventory rules. So if I turned on storage type, I could come in here and say, well, this is not a regular bin. It's actually a secure bin that has a lockbox. So I could easily come in here and say secure, add, and now this just notes that this inventory needs to go in this secure lockbox with every receipt. We have options to allow back orders and rules pertaining to back orders. And then as a best practice, always want to physically count inventory on a periodic basis. And this gives us the ability to define when that period is. Okay. Pricing. Again, if you're accustomed to MarketDirect StoreFront, then you know and familiar with multi-level pricing sheet. With fulfillment, we can also do cost plus price sheet, meaning if I click on that little radio score, I can come up here and I can say that the cost for each item is 50 cents. And if I had filled out the average cost for other items already received, this would automatically populate here. I can then come down and say, as a price, I can use the same as cost. I can mark up the cost, mark up a percentage, or mark down. In this case, I can set a 25% markup. And if I were to hit save, that pricing would be applied to this product. Okay. So that's everything I wanted to show with regard to creating and modifying fulfillment products within this user interface. What I'm going to do now is spend a little bit of time in terms of receiving inventory and setting up warehouses within MarketDirect Fulfillment. So if I come down here and I click on Inventory Receipt, you're going to see Manage Inventory Receipts in the list of receipts that we have within the system. Okay, so let's say I got a shipment of new blue baseball caps that I need to add to inventory. I would simply click on our Receive Inventory button. And let's say I receive them from Best Hats Company. And I want to assign this to Bira. As a unique identifier, I'll put in an external reference. And then when identifying the product we're receiving, I can either put in the ID or the SKU if I know those off the top of my head. What I like to do is come to this search products and simply put in cap and search. And I can see here's my blue cap. So I can select it, the image shows up, the ID and the SKU automatically populate. So all I need to do is say how many skids I received. So I'll go ahead and put 2. How many cartons are on each skid? We'll say 20. Pieces per carton, 24. There's no loose items, and we'll say that in each cost, 50 cents. If we click on the Add Skid plus icon here, it shows up at the bottom. And now I just need to identify the location where this received inventory will go. And so I can either type directly into these fields. If I know the location, I can use the drop down, which is going to show all my locations. Or probably the best use case, I'm going to click on this little location search icon. And it's actually going to tell me, again, where this item already lives within my warehouse. Because I probably want to keep these together, right? So my new inventory receipt, I'm going to throw in 42D with the rest of the blue caps. And now I can hit Save Receive. And I can either print my receipt or I can print my skid labels, stick them on the skid, and now it's very clear what those are, the quantities, barcode, and really streamlines your operation. All right. The last thing I'm going to do is do warehousing. I'm going to do this fairly quickly to make sure I give Brandon enough time to wrap up with ShipExpress. So you can see the current warehouses that I have set up. And let's say my operation's expanding, I'm scaling quickly, and I need to create a new warehouse for my fulfillment operation. I would simply come to Add Warehouse. Let's call this Warehouse 5. Prefix is DPC for Downtown Print Center. Save. So now I've created a warehouse, which is fairly simple. And now I need to create a location for the warehouse and really map out what that warehouse looks like. So I'm going to go up one to Warehouse Location. And you can see all the current locations I have in my database. If I were to search for Warehouse 5, you can see nothing's going to come up because we haven't identified it yet. So I'm going to bulk location. I'm going to identify it's for Warehouse 5. It has 6 aisles, has 12 bays, 12 levels. Well, it's a little high. We'll say 6 levels. This can be numeric in terms of our identifier, and we'll start it at 1. We'll have this be alphabetic, starting with A. Say there are 40 inches, depth of 24 inches. And now I can hit preview, and I can see all the locations that's populated for Warehouse 5. Okay. I go ahead and commit that, and now they've been added to my database. Okay. Very simple, very easy to scale your operation with the systems and functionality in place with this module. So we're very excited rolling this out and going to market. So I'm going to pause there, and we're going to shift gears and talk about AutoEngage. So we've been putting our fulfillment and storefront hats on, but now I want you to put your marketer hat on because we're going to talk a little bit about marketing automation and customer communication through MarketDirect Storefront. So what is AutoEngage? At its core, AutoEngage is leveraging the technology from our cross-media product to bring you dynamic email campaigns, and your campaigns are directly linked to your MarketDirect Storefront database, okay? Meaning you're not uploading lists, you're not using external data, you're simply creating campaigns using our easy-to-use tools, targeting the groups and users within your MarketDirect Storefront, and then scheduling those campaigns within AutoEngage. So again, as I mentioned, the only data source that's available in AutoEngage is the MarketDirect Storefront. So there's no uploading lists or manipulating external data. We've rolled out 3 specific pre-built campaigns with this release of AutoEngage, and that includes the abandoned shopping cart reminder campaign, the promotional code distribution campaign, and the product alert notification campaign. You know, with each of these campaigns, you can target specific companies within your storefront to make this a very personalized campaign approach. Okay. So with that overview of AutoEngage, I'm going to go back to my demo, and we're going to jump right in. Okay. So here's another storefront. If I go over to the administration panel, I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and we're going to see AutoEngage under customer communications. When I launch this, again, this is our cross-media technology that we've essentially simplified and streamlined to make the creation and distribution of these campaigns very, very simple. And when you first come into AutoEngage, you're going to see your dashboard. And you can configure the view of this dashboard in a number of different ways, really however you want to see the data at a glance. You can drill down so that you can see all the data related to all the campaigns in AutoEngage, or you can select a specific campaign that you just want to view the metrics for. Okay. Speaking of metrics, if we scroll down to the bottom, we're going to see these email performance metrics in terms of emails sent, emails opened, emails clicked, and then any bounced emails or email errors. I'll pause here for 1 second just to kind of give you an overview. So right now, these are really the only performance metrics we have in AutoEngage. And so it gives you kind of a baseline understanding of how any campaign is performing. What we'd like to do in a future release is bring in some conversion metrics so that you can see ROI for promo code campaigns and see revenue generated from shopping cart campaigns, and really give you a holistic view of how each campaign is performing across AutoEngage. Okay, so when I want to create a new campaign, I'm going to come over to this little house icon, and I'm going to select on New Campaign. Now, if I was coming in here for the very first time, I would highly recommend a user create a new theme, because essentially this is going to give you the opportunity to design and build your template for your campaigns all in one swing without updating every campaign email template every time you send a campaign. For this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into one of the campaigns just to give you a feel for what that workflow looks like. But know that when you are getting set up with AutoEngage and starting from scratch, you'll want to create a theme branded towards your storefront or however company or end user you're targeting. So the workflows for each of these campaigns is pretty identical. So I'm going to use abandoned shopping cart for our demo today. And this is going to bring me to the campaign wizard. And the first thing the campaign wizard is going to show me is just the elements of the campaign. So I have a shopping cart email, and it's connected to our MarketDirect storefront database with shopping cart data. Okay. I'm going to either select a company from my storefront database, or I'm going to select all, which I'm going to do in this case. And then I'm going to adjust the number of hours I want this email to go out after somebody has left the shopping cart. So our default here is 24 hours, meaning that if Aaron put some items in his shopping cart, left, 24 hours later, he's going to get this email saying, hey, Aaron, go back to your storefront, finish the process. Okay. Here's where themes come into play. So AutoEngage will ship with a number of default pre-populated themes that you can choose from and edit. Okay. But if you were to select and create a theme at the very beginning, you could scroll down and you could see that theme that you created down here in the library. And so you can see I created a theme for Coca-Cola. I named it Taylor Test. And I could select this and be ready to go fairly quickly. For this demonstration, I'm going to use this mock-up just to give you an idea of what it looks like when creating a new campaign and using the editor tools. So we'll call this Taylor Test demo. We'll hit create. And the first thing that's going to load is my storyboard. And my storyboard is going to show me, again, the elements of my campaign. So I have an abandoned shopping cart email template, and I have a landing page. And the landing page is specific to unsubscribers, meaning if somebody says, hey, thanks for the reminder, but I don't want to get any of these emails from you again, they click on that link in the email, and they're brought to this landing page confirming the unsubscribe. If we click into the email, you're going to see our email editor, or smart editor as we call it. So you're going to see your theme's going to come up on the right. You're going to have some editing variables in the middle here. And then if I select an element, you're going to get some options on the far left. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is click on this email tab here, and I'm going to change my subject line from remaining shopping cart items to don't forget your print materials. I might put in some alt text or preview text as well. But for now, I'm going to jump over and I'm going to change some of the branding and copy elements of my email. So I'm going to keep the logo the same just for this demonstration, but no, you could easily come in here, click, and then either select from a library or upload an image. Okay. I could come in here and I could update my copy. So instead of "where'd you go" as the headline, I'll have some synergy between my subject line and say, "Don't forget your print materials. This shopping cart's nice, but I don't really sell plants, so I'm going to switch this out from plants to a shopping cart that is a little bit more specific to my storefront." Okay, there that is. All right. And then really what the beauty of AutoEngage does is, as I said, I mentioned that it's very easy to get up and running and get campaigns out the door quickly. And the primary reason of that, besides the fact that we've set up some of these templates and themes for you, is that the variable data is already in place, meaning you don't have to go in and set personalized fields for first name or product name or product description. The system already does that. So you really just have to come in, make the email look good, update some copy, and then you're really ready to go pretty quickly. So one nice feature within AutoEngage is that if I click on this data tab, I can actually see how this email is going to look for each individual user that it's going to. And in most cases, when you're sending it to thousands of people, you might not want to do that. But in this case, with only 28, I could scroll through here and I could see what it looks like going to admin. Or more specifically, if I go to the end, I can see that, Taylor, you have some items in your cart, and here's that item, with the item picture being brought in, as well as the product name. And so when I receive this, I simply have to go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that item." Click on the shopping basket, and it'll go directly back to my cart. And so all I have to do is update my payment information and complete the transaction. Okay. So if I go back to my storyboard, my email's in place. I'll leave the landing page alone for now. And now I'm ready to start my campaign. So if I start my campaign, it's going to ask me, "Are you sure?" I'm going to click OK. And now it's going to run until I tell it not to run. And that's one of the other beauties of AutoEngage, is that you don't have to come in here and create campaign after campaign after campaign. You can come, start a campaign, let it run for a couple weeks, and then check the dashboard and see how it's performing. And if it's performing very well, keep it running. If it's not, or you want to optimize it, you can stop the campaign, make some adjustments to our email template or copy, and then start it again. Okay. So again, a lot of ease of use within AutoEngage, and we're really excited for customers to start trying it so that we can see the type of conversion results that you're generating on behalf of your storefront. So Aaron, with that, I know we have about 15 minutes left. I want to kick it over to Brandon so he can round us out.
Perfect. Thanks, Taylor. So let's transition into ShipExpress. ShipExpress is a multi-carrier shipping solution. So what does that mean? This means that you are able to process all your shipments with all your carriers through one system. You no longer need to have a workstation for UPS WorldShip, another for FedEx Ship Manager server, a website to process your USPS or DHL shipments, nor another website to process your LTLs. You're now able to process all of your shipments within one screen, one system, one workflow. This allows all of your shipping information to reside within one system. Your users now only need to learn one workflow for all of their carriers. You don't have to train users how to process shipments using WorldShip, how to process shipments using FedEx Ship Manager, for example. With ShipExpress, we're streamlining the flow of shipment information into the shipping system, saving time and eliminating the mistakes that are caused from double entry. With ShipExpress being a multi-carrier shipping system, we're able to provide real-time rates across all of your carriers at the same time. Both shippers and estimators are able to do some rate shopping to find the cheapest method to get the product to the customer. When we take a look at a shipping department today, this is what your shipping department might look like. Here we look at a common workflow without systems like ShipExpress. Someone is determining what items are going into what box and most likely entering this information into a system. If you are creating carton labels, hand keying in all the line item details again into labeling software, something maybe like Bartender. Then someone is going ahead and creating a packing list, hand keying in the shipping information in again. And I've seen this done in Excel, or many different ways, but mostly in an Excel document. And then they save that Excel document as a PDF and use that as the packing list. Now we are finally able to print our shipping label. So we walk over to the UPS World Ship or the FedEx Ship Manager station and we start hand keying in the shipping information again, and then finally getting the shipping label. At the bottom of the shipping label, you're most likely printing out a dock tab, also known as an audit label. So generally the shipping label is a 4x6 shipment label that goes on the box, and then below it you might have a 4x3/4 inch or a 4x1 inch or a 4x2 inch perforation at the bottom of the shipping label that has the job or the invoice number or the order number on it, along with a tracking number and a cost. The user is peeling that little perforation off and putting it onto maybe your pick ticket or your order or some other document that you're using, and then putting it into the basket. That user is going to repeat this process throughout the day. Then finally, at the end of the day or the next morning, someone's grabbing that basket with all the documents, with the doc tab information, and then logging into MDSF. They're finding the order number and hand keying in the tracking number and the cost against that order. Excuse me. Now we are finally able to notify the customer that the order has been shipped. I've seen this total process take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. With ShipExpress, we are now able to do all of these steps for all carriers with our one-step pack and ship. We're able to containerize the items, print out the carton labels describing what is in each box, produce the packing list, the shipping label, along with updating MarketDirect StoreFront with the costs, the tracking numbers, along with actual quantities shipped and how the items were containerized. And then also automatically notifying the customer that the order has been shipped and providing them the tracking numbers in less than a minute. Now we'll go ahead into the demo. So here I am in the StoreFront buyer view. I'm going to go ahead and do a simple example along the lines of that Taylor did. I'll order 5 blue hats and 5 green hats, and I'll add these to my cart. So we'll come through here, through the checkout process, select our shipment method, see our estimated shipping price here, and go ahead and proceed to payment. I'm going to purchase with a purchase order number, and I'll place my order. So that was my buyer-facing workflow. Now I'm going to go ahead as an operator. I'm going to come through and finish out the process. So I'm going to come into my order view here, and we'll now see my order, 598. I'm going to go ahead and drill into my order, and we can see that the 5 blue caps and the 5 green caps here, and the shipping status has not been shipped yet. So going back into my order view now, what I'm going to simply do is go ahead and start to process this shipment. When I click Process Shipment, it automatically brings me into ShipExpress and displays the shipment information on the screen. Just to kind of familiarize yourself a little bit here, along the top blue bar here is different areas within inside of ShipExpress. So the shipment page, which we automatically log into, rate quote, which would give the user the ability to do a quick spot quote, throw in a ship to address, an estimated weight to get a quote. Manifest information, this is where users have the ability to run shipment reports. They want to get a consolidated list of all the UPS shipments you did or all the FedEx shipments you did, or a customer is asking you for a list of all the shipments that you've sent to them, and then also the administration area. So within this screen here, then, it reads from left to right and then down. So in this section here that I'm highlighting, this is the ship from information. This isn't necessarily where I'm literally shipping from. This is what I want to make it look like I'm shipping from. You might call this blind shipment or alternate return address. On the right-hand side here in the section that I'm highlighting, this is the ship to information. Pretty obvious what this is. Where is the shipment going? In this section here, this is the shipment method. So what is the carrier the service level, and the freight payment terms, not order payment terms, freight payment terms for the shipment. These are linked via ShipExpress and MarketDirect StoreFront and MarketDirect Fulfillment via ship via code. Then on the right-hand side here, I like to call this area kind of heads-up display information. So this is showing me what are my total number of packages I've done so far, what's the total weight for the shipment, what's my purchase order number, my order number, and then any special services that I might want to put onto the order. On the left-hand side here, I see my line item detail. So this is what items I need to ship and pack. And on the right-hand side, this is my grid for which items or which containers need a shipping label on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 blue caps into one box and 5 green caps into one box. So I'm simply just going to put right here in this field 5. I'm going to hit pack. Well, now notice on the right-hand side we have a row, a new row, which represents a shipping unit, okay? And when I click pack, if I had a scale connected to my workstation, it would have read the weight off the scale, but I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and put in 5 pounds. And then I can go ahead and take my remainder. I have 5 left of the green caps to ship, and I'm simply just going to say pack all. That'll take the remainder of anything that's left and put it into the last box. We'll also say that one's 5 pounds. Another thing that we display here is what was estimated at the time of checkout. So what was the freight that was estimated at the time of checkout? We display that for the user so they can see, make sure that they stay under it, essentially. Then what we have is this total ship cost here as well that we show. This is used if you have multiple recipients on an order. So you'll have your total estimated price for all recipients on the order in the estimated price field. And then this will be your cumulative shipping costs that you've done against that order for all the recipients. Right now it's 0 because we haven't done any shipments against it yet. I also have the ability to hit the estimate button, which will give me a quick quote of the freight for this shipment. This would be my negotiated price, not necessarily my published price. So this is what I would be paying. And we can go ahead and ship this. When I ship this, we can create the shipping labels, the carton labels, along with the packing list here. In your environment, these things would automatically print to the label printer, but in the demo environment, I print them to the screen once they render here. So here we can see our 2 FedEx labels, 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. And then here is an example of the packing list. We have the ship to information. We can include the ship from. It can also be branded with your logo here. We have the ship date and time, the purchase order number, how it actually went out, a master tracking number, total number of packages, and also letting the user know whether it was a complete shipment or a partial shipment. We also here broke out the items on the packing list automatically based on the order number, the item number, and the item description. And we can see that we did 2 packages, and in the first package I did 1 package at 5 quantity for a total quantity of 5, and then the second box was another package at 5 quantity for a total quantity of 5. My ordered was shipped, my ordered was 5, and my shipped was 5, so this was a complete. Now, back inside of MarketDirect Fulfillment and MarketDirect Storefront, what I'm going to do is go ahead and take a look at the putback. So here on the operator's side of the view, I can see that this was shipped out as 2 packages here. I can see the tracking numbers. I can see my quantity shipped, and I can also see my shipping charges for each box. Now these shipping charges don't necessarily get updated for the buyer, but they are visible for the user. Now let's go to hop back over to the buyer's view and see what this looks like for the buyer. So I'm going to go into my order history now as the buyer, drill in. I can see that this order was shipped. I can drill it. When I scroll down here, I can see my packages. I can see my tracking numbers. I can see my items, and I can see my quantity that was shipped. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of ShipExpress. And Aaron, bring it back to you.
Communities. I want to take a couple of seconds. We've recently launched and transferred the DSF, the MDSF forums over to Communities. The Communities tool is new at EFI. It's where you can get support, you can get help, you can talk with other users. Please go over to communities.efi.com and register, get set up, and go to the MarketDirect storefront section, where, as I mentioned, again, you can get support, you can submit questions to the forum, and you can interact with other storefront users. Keep in touch with us via Twitter, EFI.print, Facebook, again, EFI Print, and on YouTube. All of our webinars are recorded and distributed to YouTube. But as I mentioned at the beginning, this webinar will be recorded, and if you registered, you will get an email with the recording included momentarily. So look out for that. You can share that with the team, and you can watch it again or go back over anything you might have missed. Please contact us. There are a number of different ways to get in touch with us online. You can chat with us directly. You can speak to your EFI representative, or you can reach out and call us in any of those regions and contact us directly. Finally, thank you so much for joining us today. We know you have a very busy schedule, and we know that right now pulling yourself out of your office is more difficult than ever. Thank you for joining us once again. We hope you found this presentation useful. Thank you to our presenters, Taylor, Brandon, and Christopher, for backing us up there, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks very much, everyone.